In today's day and age, mobile phones are more of a fifth limb than anything else. In many cases, a phone screen is the first thing we see in the morning and the last thing we see at night. This raises the question, at what point do we consider ourselves addicted to our phones? Time for the stats. In 2013, 40% of people use their mobile as their primary source of accessing the web. This has now risen to 55%. On average, a mobile user consumes 6.7 hours of media per day. The percentage of Australians that own a smartphone is at a staggering 77%, an increase of over 5% in the past 12 months. Since 2013, the percentage of Australians owning 3 electronic devices has risen from 28% to 53%. Of the Australians who have an internet-enabled phone, 53% access the internet more than 5 times a day. 1 in 5 accessing it more than 15 times a day. So thanks for coming along. I won't take up too much of your time. I've only got a few questions to ask you and then you can get back to using your phone.
No worries.
Alright, so first of all, I just want to ask, how important is your phone to you?
Well, I think being a teenager in this age where I am now, it's pretty damn important to have a mobile phone. Like, all form of contact, mobile phones. Job positions, you can only use a mobile phone to talk to people, to get word around, I guess, or more for networking.
Yep. Would you say you use your mobile every day?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Every hour.
Every hour?
Every hour.
Well, would you say that you use it more for personal or business purposes?
More personal at the moment because I am only 18 and don't really have too many business uses at the time being, but I'm sure in the future I will be using more business.
Yeah, for sure. Well, do you think that you could go 48 hours without checking your phone?
48 hours, I don't know, it'd be a bit tough, but I reckon I could probably do it.
Okay, well, my next question would have to be, do you check your mobile even when you don't hear it ring or make a message tone?
Sure. I still use my phone, like if I'm bored, if I'll be sitting there waiting for like 5 minutes, I'm like, okay, let's just check all social media again just in case something important come up, play some games.
Well, on that note, would you say that people rely too heavily on their phones in today's day and age?
I don't think so because we're a very technologically advanced society, I guess, that like if you've got the technology, use it. You don't want to go back to landline and send in mail. Like if you've got a quicker service, use it, I guess. So,
well,
but that's just me, I guess.
And that's fair enough to say. So I'd just like to thank you for your time and
no worries.
Enjoy.
Probably about 3 or 4 hours.
Every hour except perhaps up until about 2 a.m. So it's like basically, yeah, sporadically. Like I couldn't accumulate it all, but I reckon probably about, in total, like the total amount of time looking at my phone every day, probably about 3 hours.
3 hours? Work related or just personal?
Just personal, anything, just using it in general.
Probably personal for about 3 or 4 hours. A couple of hours.
Hours?
Probably 3 to 4 hours, I'd say.
Every spare minute that I have, I'm on my phone, so I'd be on it maybe like 6 hours all up.
I reckon maybe an hour.
One?
If you mean altogether?
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 hour every day.
Leisure, mainly, yeah.
Well, not work. Like I read the news, which is kind of work for me, but I enjoy it at the same time. So leisure predominantly. Social media, the news, Reddit from time to time.
Leisure.
Leisure?
Pretty much leisure. I don't really have work, so I'd say leisure.
Leisure.
Definitely leisure. Social networking is pretty big.
Predominantly leisure. I think I was 12. Actually, I think I was like 9 or 10. Got my older brothers handed down to me. Yeah, about
13.
What about you?
Yeah, probably about the same, maybe 14. Parents were a bit strict.
I think I was in grade 8, so I think that's like 12 or 13.
That's about 40.
Right, about 14, grade 9 I think. Yeah.
I was a bit younger, probably 13.
I can't say that. I'm too old.
Someone older than you said it.
Oh, really? Okay. It would have only been 15 years ago.
This documentary explicitly outlined the role mobile phones play in our lives, but it is up to you to decide whether or not it is an advantage or disadvantage to society. What questions will you ask yourself?